Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 27 updates and spoilers. It's Tuesday. My ass has been thinking it's Monday all day. Welcome. Our house guests of the day. We have Heidi and her daughters, Mackenzie and Caitlin, and their cat, Twiddlywinks. That is such a fun name. Thank you all so much for watching. We have Riley and Milan, and we have Angela in Nevada. Thank you all so much for watching along with us this season and seasons past. We really appreciate all of you, and we cannot thank you enough. So thanks again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, just send us an email to madrosed@gmail.com and we will get you on the list. Just put house guest of the day in the subject line so we can find you. Hello, everyone. Anita Star, Jesse, what's up, Cupcake Christine, 123 Fake Street, Dawn, Aja, Muse fan forever. Welcome, one and all. I'm trying to hang in there. It's tough in these BB streets, though. It really is tough. I just feel like production had a balloon, if the balloon represented this season, and then they decided to slowly, well, not even slowly, they didn't slowly let the air out of the season. They decided to take a needle and pop the balloon. That's what it feels like watching the feeds now. It does not feel like we are watching the same game. It's crazy. But let's jump into it. Oh wait, also Bradley's asking what was going to happen to Zingbot. I haven't heard about Zingbot yet. I'm assuming Zingbot probably will be here next week, right? I mean, they got to get him in there before it's too late. I think he's going to be there next week, but I have not heard any what's the word I'm looking for? Confirmation on that. I haven't heard any confirmation. But when we left off yesterday, they had the power veto ceremony. Morgan, Ashley, and Will were on the block going into it. And Morgan, of course, used the veto on herself, and Lauren put Keanu up as the replacement nominee. So now we have Keanu versus Ashley versus Will up on the block. So Keanu was pissed and still is pissed that Lauren put him up. And he vowed that if he stays and he wins HOH, he will be putting up Lauren, Vince, and Morgan. I'd like to see it. He's all, let's give them something to cry about. He wants to see those tears. And so do I. I think that would be a fun trio to have up on the block. But Keanu doesn't understand why Lauren would put him up unless she's trying to take a shot at him. She's trying to take the shot, bro. Read the room. You're already saying it. Just like he's so close. He is so close to getting it, but he's still just not quite there. But Keanu is starting to wonder, am I bad at this game? Because whenever I tell someone that they should do something and it's the thing that I think is the best for their game, they end up doing the opposite. And he's also realizing that Rachel was right last week when she said that Lauren would put him up on the block. He effed around and he's finding out. She had told him, Lauren is not a number for you. And Keanu is learning that the hard way. He's kind of, I think, maybe wishing he had put Lauren up on the block last week as the replacement nominee. But Keanu and Ashley also had a chat yesterday, and they were talking about voting for each other to stay if one of them comes off the block with the blockbuster. So Keanu is saying Will's got to go out of us three, because if Will stays, he will get carried to the end. He's taking a spot in that final two. I'm not sure how realistic this promise is between Keanu and Ashley to vote for each other. I do think that Keanu would vote to keep Ashley. I genuinely do. But I don't know if the reverse is true. I don't know if Ashley keeps Keanu. Because, I mean, Will's like her dad in there. They've been so close. But also, we're at the end game here. And I think, I think Ashley realizes she's going to need somebody who can win some comps moving forward to help her get to the end. And unfortunately, Will is not a top contender in these competitions, especially since he did hurt his leg in the BB Comics comp. I don't know. I'm not really sure what Ashley would do in that situation. I'm leaning towards her voting Keanu out, right? Like maybe she's just trying to lock in Keanu's vote by saying she would vote for him. I just can't imagine her actually voting Will out. But anyway, they agree that they could be good for each other's games moving forward. It sounds like perhaps Rachel told both of them, like, you guys need to work together if you want to get to the end. Maybe she said that before she left. That's kind of what they were saying, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see it on tonight's episode. But yesterday afternoon, Cheap Man's drama. Oh my God. We're back in high school. Morgan is venting to Will and Ashley in the wine lounge, and Morgan is frustrated that Vince is having so many one-on-ones with Lauren, spending so much time with Lauren when he's supposed to be hanging out with her. Oh my God, this is too much. It's too much. So Morgan is like, if that's what he wants to do, fine. I don't need him. I do want him in the game, though. She says he is my number one. I would never turn my back on him. And this is like something that she's saying out loud, not just in her brain, but out loud to both Will and Ashley. Okay. And Morgan says, it's just so hurtful. He ditches me all the time. And then she starts crying. And Ashley's like, oh, Morgan, I'm so sorry. Like, don't take it personally. And Morgan says, Vince knows what I have been through in this game. Every person that I have aligned myself with has turned their back on me. Except for you guys. It was like, okay, do you guys know the musical Spamalot? When King Arthur is singing about, like, I'm all alone, and then Patsy's like, excuse me, like, I've been here the whole time. She's saying she's all alone to both Will and Ashley. But she says people that she's tried to work with have damaged her game. I mean, specifically Mickey. She feels like Mickey was gaslighting her for weeks and destroying her game from the inside. That part I do believe. That part's true. But Morgan says the number one person that I have in this game is hanging out with the person who put me on the block and voted me out. And Will's like, yeah, that's a problem. How much was Will actually listening to all this and taking it in? Because I'm sure this is one of those conversations that he doesn't want to, like, be a part of. But Morgan's like, I would never do that. I would never do that to anybody. And Ashley says, I think it just comes down to Vince does not want to choose between you and Lauren in this game. And Morgan says that Vince not wanting to choose is him choosing. It just feels so dramatic. It all feels so dramatic. So Keanu then interrupts the conversation. I'm sure Will and Ashley were like, hallelujah. So we'll come back to that drama in a bit. But first, Lauren, Keanu, and the HOH spy screen were chatting in the HOH room. Lauren was like barely looking at Keanu in this conversation. It is wild how she cannot look these people in their faces. So Lauren, looking at the spy screen, is like, I just wanted to tell you how genuinely sorry I am. I'm not gonna cry. And then she says, I felt like out of the people who were left, like, you're a really good competitor, and I'm genuinely sorry. I see you as someone who I'm really close to. Girl. But she's basically suggesting to Keanu that he's on the block because he's a strong competitor. And she's saying, like, you're up against Will and Ashley in this blockbuster. So she's basically suggesting he will beat them in the comp. And she's like, I'm just really sorry. And Keanu's like, it's okay, but there were definitely other options that you could have put up. He says you could have put up people who don't have your best interest at heart in this game, Vince. Also, you know, you being a super fan of this show, I think it was really reckless of you to pick someone who just saved you. Because Keanu could have put her up on the block last week and he chose not to. He also says the person that you had the ability to team up with and run the rest of this game. Keanu really did want to, like, go to the end, or at least, like, close to the end with Lauren, but she didn't want that. He says, instead, you chose to put me up on the block, and I don't even have a safety net. If I don't win that blockbuster, there's a really good chance that I'm out of here. So Lauren's like, I, I don't know. I just know that you're a good competitor. Keanu is also telling her, if I'm out of here, you're going to be next because you will be seen as the next biggest comp threat. Like, people are going to be going after you. And he's not wrong. People are definitely looking at her. But meanwhile, the cheat man's drama rages on. So Morgan and Vince are now talking at the hammock, and Morgan is all upset. She's visibly upset. And she tells Vince, I've just been having a really hard time. And Vince is like, well, does it have to do with me? And Morgan says, I mean, I don't know. Like, me, I don't know. Not really. I don't know. But Morgan says it's an accumulation of things. She says, but part of it is because of you. So Vince asks her, what did I do? And Morgan says, I know we're playing separate games here, but I feel very alone. Oh my God. And he's like, oh, well, did I not hang out with you at all today? Is that what the problem is? And she's like, no, it's not that. And then he's like, well, was it because I was with Lauren a lot today? Does that have something to do with it? And Morgan's like, well, you do spend a lot of time with Lauren in general. And she says, I forgive you for the maze thing, but it is a hard pill to swallow. And when she says the maze thing, she's referring to the safety chain competition that we're going to see tonight, where Vince chose Lauren over her. Yikes. So she doesn't feel good about that. She's not going to forget that. But she also says, one of the people that you spend the most time with in this house voted me out, wants me out, put me up on the block, wouldn't have used the veto on me, and wouldn't have been upset if I left. So she says this is an extremely hard pill to swallow. And Vince is like, yeah, like, I definitely see your point, but Lauren doesn't want you out as far as I know. Sir, that is a lie. He knows that Lauren wants Morgan out of here. Morgan was one of the targets this week. It was either Morgan or Keanu. So, like, that's a lie. But just a side note here, Will and Ashley are watching all of this drama from across the yard. They see what's going on here. They already know that Morgan is upset with Vince. And Will's like, man, Vince has these girls on lock. He has them fighting over him. He says Vince is a pimp. And Will says also, if Morgan cries one more time over Vinny, I'm going to lose my shit. Same. I feel the same way. I'm over it. But back to Morgan and Vince. Vince takes Morgan's hand in his own, and he brings his chinny chin, and his mouth up to her hand, and he's like, do you hate me? So do you hate me? I can't. And Morgan's like, no, I don't hate you. But Vince says, I find myself in a really tough position of my own making. It's always of Vince's own making, but he never admits that part. But Morgan says, the fact of the matter is, Lauren does not like me. And Vince is denying it, of course. He's like, it's not that she doesn't like you. She's just really shy. She doesn't like talk to that many people. And Morgan's like, really? Because she's always talking to Kelly. She's always talking to Ava. She's talking to you all the time. Like, what's the deal? She clearly just does not like me. So Vince keeps denying. Morgan keeps insisting. And Vince is like, I don't want you to think that because I'm good with Lauren, that I'm turning my back on you. Because he wants it both ways, right? He wants both of them to take him to the final two. So he tells Morgan, I don't want you to be hurt by anything that I do. And this conversation goes on for a while. It's a lot of the same stuff over and over again. Morgan says Lauren wants Vince all to herself. I mean, what a prize, right? But after this conversation, Morgan is alone on the hammock and she's talking to the cameras and she's like, what I really want to know is why I keep getting asked in the diary room if there's something more there, like between her and Vince. Girl, why are you acting like this question is so out of the blue? Does she need to see a supercut of all of the long hugs and lingering looks and arm whatever scratchies. I mean, what more do you need to see? But she says, I like Vinny as a friend and strictly a friend. I respect him. I respect his relationship. And I'm excited to meet Kelsey. I don't think that's happening. But she also says, I wonder why I'm getting asked that. It just doesn't make sense. So a little later, Ava is also crying. Ava, we saw her crying about this a few weeks ago. She's really getting freaked out that the season is going to be ending soon. And she really does not want life after Big Brother to be different. And she's like, oh my God, what if my boyfriend doesn't like me anymore? Did I make my family proud? I gotta say, her family seemed delightful, lovely in the home visit from the Unlocked episode. So I think she's going home to a pretty good support system, but she's freaking out. I'm sure also the emotions of her decision, which we will see on tonight's episode, that is also probably weighing heavily on her. And it's kind of manifesting here in this freak out. But anyway, later, Kelly and Ava have a chat in the backyard, and Kelly spills some info here. Kelly says, Keanu told me that if Ashley wins the Blockbuster competition, she said she would vote to keep Keanu over Will. Now, this is like some crazy information for Ava to be getting. Do you think she'll do anything with it? I mean, Will is supposed to be like her number one, right? Is she going to tell him? Kelly says there's a chance that Morgan, Vince, and Ashley would all vote to keep Keanu and he could stay. Now, I have to say no way on this because there's no way, no way that Vince and Morgan vote to keep Keanu. Maybe Ashley would, maybe, but not Morgan and Vince. They want Keanu out. But Ava and Kelly are not really sure that Ashley is being truthful about wanting to keep Keanu. And Ava says, you know what? Even if she does, it doesn't matter because no matter what we do in this house, if we're meant to win, we're going to win. Why does Ava refuse to think about the game for more than like 3 minutes at a time? Why can't she think about this on a game level? Why does everything have to be dismissed as, well, whatever's meant to happen will happen? Freaking play the game. Oh my God. So moving on, Morgan and Vince were up late last night chatting, and they slept until like 12:30 today as a result. But they were up late chatting. They were talking through some of their jealousy issues. We already know that Morgan is pissed about how much time Vince is spending with Lauren and also like him picking Lauren over Morgan. And Vince brings up that he was jealous after Keanu put Vince up on the block because he's like, yeah, Keanu put me up, and then I saw you and Keanu napping on the same couch, and I was like really upset about it. This doesn't sound like just some like friend stuff. This sounds like romantic jealousy. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. But they then over explain how their closeness is not Vince cheating on his girlfriend. This is not cheating. Morgan says we always have separate blankets. Like whenever we're next to each other, we have separate blankets. Or like if we're in the HOH bed, one of us is on top of the sheets and one is underneath. Like we have separate blankets. I'm sorry. It's just too much. So Vince says he is so sure that there are going to be people saying that he and Morgan are too close and it's inappropriate. But he says before coming in here, Kelsey is the least jealous person on the planet. Kelsey, his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, I don't know. But he says Kelsey understands that coming into this house, like we are going to be seeking human connection. She gets that. She understands it. Just that good old human chemistry again, am I right? But Morgan says as long as she gets it, that's all that matters. Who cares what everybody else is saying? Okay. And then Vince is like, I mean, like, are you straddling me and we're making out at 2 a.m. in the backyard? Then maybe that's cheating. Let's not do that. I felt like he was 2 seconds away from being like, unless, what if we like kissed? What if we kissed in the Big Brother backyard? I mean, just like, it'd be so crazy, but like, what if? What if we did? But like, no, but that's what it felt like. Also, that's a very specific example. Maybe like it came from his dreams or something. I don't know. But that's like a lot. And I also love how he said maybe that's cheating. So anyway, Vince says, I know the boundaries and I'm not worried about any of that. I think you should be a little bit more worried about it, but all right. So today, Ava was chatting with Lauren, and Ava says, I have some info for you. I am hearing that if it's Ashley versus Will up on the block, Ashley might stay over Will. She says Keanu, Morgan, and Vince might vote for Ashley to stay. And Ava is saying, like, I don't know if I should share this with Will or not. She's wondering, will it even change anything? I don't know that I would be able to persuade Vince, Morgan, or Keanu to flip their votes. And she's saying, like, I don't want to campaign against Ashley and get myself into some trouble here. She says Will can campaign for himself. I'm gonna call this a cold take. Ava is a terrible ally. If it wasn't clear before, Ava's a terrible ally. Like, she does not give a shit if her allies are in danger. She will not stick her neck out to try and save them. Like, yikes. Yeah, so she's telling Lauren that Will could be in danger, but is she gonna tell Will? I don't know. It's kind of giving Will is not her number one anymore. Apparently, it's Lauren now. So that's a lot. But in other news, Lauren, she charged up some moon water last night under the tutelage of Kelly. I think Lauren was like looking for the power to win as many competitions as she can the rest of the way through the game. So Lauren drank some of the water today. She was like, and Kelly told her, hey, you're a baby witch. Welcome to the coven. And it just made me laugh so much because, like, what is even happening anymore? It's just like, I don't know what I'm watching anymore. Can we have Asmodeus come back? But it did make me laugh. I don't know. So that's that. Ashley and Keanu were chatting in the gym today. They did have some game talk today. And Keanu gives her the heads up like, look, I did campaign to Morgan and I told her that if I win HOH, I would put up you, Lauren, and Ava because I'm trying to get Morgan's vote. I can't tell her what I would actually do. But he tells Ashley, rest assured, if I win HOH, I'm putting up Morgan, Lauren, and Vince. And I'm pretty sure he's telling the truth here. He would not put up Ashley. He's not concerned with her at this point. He wants to take out that trio. So then Keanu starts saying there's no way that Vince will win this game. He's got no shot to win. So there's no reason to vote him out right now. I don't agree with that. I think Vince definitely has a chance to win. And I think if he's on the block, you need to vote him out. But yeah, he seems to think that Vince would not be able to get the votes. He says that Morgan and Lauren are the bigger threats right now. They can win competitions. They are threats to win this whole thing. So one of them needs to go next. So Keanu says also, if Lauren ends up getting Will out this week, he says that's 2 flop HOHs. And she is pretty much guaranteed not to win first place. He says if that's what happens, she's not getting anything higher than second. I mean, it depends who she's up against, right? It really depends. But this is one of Keanu's arguments for why he should stay. He's going to tell people, if you keep me, you are guaranteeing that Lauren will not win this game because she will not have the move of taking me out on her resume. 2 flop HOHs. It's also one of his arguments for why Ashley should stay. Because again, if Ashley stays and Keanu stays, that means Will is going. So Keanu is hoping Ashley will push that line of thinking in her campaigning. We'll see. Ashley is also saying if Lauren takes Keanu out, that's the biggest move of the game. Like, she could be sealing the win right there. And Keanu's like, yeah, but what people don't realize is that Lauren did that by accident. She doesn't want me to go home. Keanu. Keanu, what is this? Why does he not accept that Lauren is taking a shot at him right now? It's insane to me. But he's saying, like, if she is taking a shot, I wish she would just own it, you know? Oh! So I don't know if these two have the votes that they think they have to stay this week. I definitely don't think Keanu has the votes to stay. I think if Keanu is on that block, he's going. Ashley, I think, has a shot, right? I think if Ashley's up against Keanu, she stays. If Ashley's up against Will, maybe because she would have Keanu's support. And it seems like Morgan wants to keep Ashley. I think she's kind of back and forth. It's hard to say. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but Keanu definitely not. So we still have 2 days left to go until the eviction. Tonight is a special episode. We get to watch production tank their own show. And our sweet queen is going to the jury house. So that's what's happening. Keanu is definitely in denial, 100% Hundo P. But I want to thank you all so much for being here. I know it's like rough days right now, but I really extra appreciate you guys for sticking with us. And I want to give a special thanks to our super chatters. We don't have any today. So thank you all so much for being here. I didn't even, it's fine. We will see you tonight for the episode recap. So thank you again. And until later, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.